Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Jemecia Capri, the nurse practitioner extraordinaire. And if you're new to my channel, welcome, welcome, welcome. Today I am going live for the first time. So, hey, be nice, be gentle on me. If you're watching on the live, thank you so much for stopping by. And if you are watching this on the replay, please be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. So I put on a poll to see what you guys wanted to talk about. And it was pretty close between nurse practitioner issues, nurse practitioner student issues, and my life. So my life and my lifestyle as a nurse practitioner is what won out. So I'm coming in live today to talk about my life as a nurse practitioner. So I'm just going to kind of give you guys a timeline of what my life has been like as a nurse practitioner. So a lot of you may not know this about me. I did not start off wanting to be a nurse or a nurse practitioner. When I first, oh, hey, hi, how are you? Thank you for stopping by. You are so sweet. You're always coming by and supporting me. So what I was saying was, is it Sheena? Hi, Sheena. I think you're a nurse too. It's good to see you. I hope you go live. Well, actually, you do go live a lot. So anyway, thank you for being here. So what I was trying to say was I initially did not want to be a nurse or a nurse practitioner. I was in the military and I was Air Force and I was a dental hygienist in the military. So when I got out, I was going to become a dental hygienist. And when I got out, I had no idea that the military really allows you to do whatever they want you to do, whatever you can do, and they use you to the fullest. So when I got out, I was not able to work as a dental hygienist. So I had to work as a dental assistant. And hey, hi. Whoa, it says, hi. Can you do a video on how you got your preceptorship one day? And yes, I will absolutely do that. I will definitely do that for you. How I got my preceptorship and how you can get your preceptorship as well. So what I'm talking about now is the fact that I got out and I was trying to do dental work and found out I could only make a very, very small amount of money. And it just was not, I guess, conducive to really raising a family. So my mother-in-law at the time was like, yes, I agree. Okay. Yes. So, my mother-in-law at the time was like, you need to go to nursing. And I was like, no, I'm not going to nursing. I'm not doing nursing. I don't want to do nursing. She worked all the time. I was like, no, I'm not doing that. So I did dental for a while. Dental did not, it didn't pay any bills. So I was really working really hard. And I finally said, okay, this is the deal. I'm going to apply for dental hygiene, which at the time paid like $27 an hour. And I'm also going to apply for nursing. And hey, Lord, whatever happens, whatever comes back first is where I'm going. And as you guys know, nursing came back. And so I went into nursing, and that was in 1998. I started at the community college. I got my associate's degree. And then after that, in 2000, I graduated from the University of Central Florida and got my RN. And when I got my RN, when I was going through RN school, all of the students were so grounded. They knew what they wanted to do. And again, I wasn't planning on being a nurse. But when I made that pact with God, I was like, okay, I got to do this. So thank God I ended up loving it, because I do love it. I do love it, you guys. But when I started, I noticed that a lot of the nursing students really knew what they were going to do. And I was kind of a fish out of water. I did not know what I was going to do next. I just kind of listened in to what they talked about. And I kind of pulled on their tail and was like, yeah, I'm going to do that too. And I remember distinctly, there was a gentleman named Chris Blackwell. And Chris, if you're out there, kudos to you. So Chris Blackwell, he always talked about being a nurse practitioner. And at the time, guys, in 2000, I didn't even know what a nurse practitioner was. And I started listening to him and I started doing research. And I was like, okay, I think I'm going to be a nurse practitioner too. And at the time, you really do have to look at the power of your words, because I started saying that I was going to be a nurse practitioner, even when I didn't know what it was. But I really looked at Chris Blackwell as someone who really had it together. And I knew I wanted to I knew whatever he was going to do, it was going to be fine. And I would just that's what I did. So I looked into it. And as I was working as a nurse on the cardiac floor on telemetry, I used to see a cardiac nurse who came in, and this was in the 2000s. And she was so autonomous. She was put together. She did her thing. And I was like, oh gosh. So I pulled her to the side one day and talked to her. And she was like, yeah, it's great. But she really didn't give me a lot of, I don't know. She didn't give me a lot of advice, because it was kind of like she was keeping it all to herself. So that's why I tell y'all everything. I just share everything with you guys. But she didn't give me that much advice, but I still just watched her and watched her and watched her. And I noticed that she had so much autonomy. Nobody was bothering her. She was always happy. She was always nice. So I was like, okay, so that's she was a cardiac nurse practitioner at the time. And I knew I didn't really want to work in the hospital, but I still was looking into being a nurse practitioner. And so one day, what really changed everything, y'all, what changed everything was this doctor was talking to me like he was crazy. I called him and I had a telemetry strip that changed from normal sinus rhythm to AFib. So I called him on the phone and I told him this is what was happening. And he was like, how do you know? How do you know? I said, well, sir, I'm looking at the strip and it changed. And he was like, oh, you guys always calling me for this and that. And he was just really nasty. And he hung up the phone on me. I was like, sir, you didn't just hang up on me, did you? Because I called him back. And he hung up on me again. And the next thing I know, I guess he was in the hospital somewhere. He was like standing next to me. And he was like, why are you calling me? Let me see the rhythm strip. And so I showed him the strip. And when I was trying to show him the strip, he snatched it out of my hand and I lost it. So he was really tall. And at the time, he was like an intimidator. He would intimidate all the nurses and everybody was like moving around so they could give him their seat and he could sit down. And I was like, oh gosh, no, that's not happening. So when he did that, I literally turned around. We were in the nurses station and I turned around. I stood up. I don't know why I did this at the time, but I stood up on a chair so that I can get eye level with him because that's how tall he was. And I blessed him out, y'all. I blacked out. And after that, the nurse manager pulled me in her office and I knew I was getting fired because no one had ever talked to this man like this ever. And I was like, no, I put my pants on just like you do. So no. So come to find out, he was the doctor who worked with the nurse practitioner. She was employed with him. And after that incident, I did not get fired. I did get written up for doing that. But after that, he wanted to only work with me. He only wanted me on his cases, which was weird. But we did end up developing an okay relationship. But let me tell y'all, that was it. I knew from that point, I could not stay a nurse, just an RN, because it was just, I couldn't do it. It's just not in my personality. And I needed more autonomy. So that is when I decided I would go back to school. And at that time, to become a nurse practitioner, you had to have at least 2 years of nursing experience. So while I got my 2 years of nursing experience, I flipped to nights and I went to nursing school, nurse practitioner school during the day. And I had moved from Florida to Ohio at that time because we were a military family. So I went from the University of Central Florida to Wright State University in Dayton, Ohio. And I started my family nurse practitioner school. And I ended up graduating from there in 2004. And from that point, I went on and I worked as a nurse practitioner, and I continued to look at other programs just to see if I wanted any more certification and all of that. But at the time, I didn't really need it because a family nurse practitioner could work in any setting and they would just train you. So that's what I did there. But I do want to point out that it wasn't easy. It was really hard because when I graduated, and I'm not sure I've said this out loud to anyone. So here you go. You guys who are listening right now, when I graduated from high school, I had a 1.9 GPA. And that doesn't reflect my intelligence. It really reflects what was going on in my life at the time. And I'll share that with you guys at a later date. But I graduated with a 1.9. And I found that when I was going to nursing school, that nothing came easy for me. I had to write everything down. I had to make mnemonics about it. I had to listen to it on the recording while I was driving to and from work, to and from school, and all of that. And so I just want you guys to know that it does take commitment. And just because you're not the greatest student doesn't mean you can't, do anything. It just takes hard work. It just takes time. So for me, thank you guys for stopping by. I see that there's at least 3 people here. But for me, it did take a lot of hard work because, for one, I was a non-traditional student. When I started going back to school, any school, even my associate's degree, I was 27 years old when I first started going back. So don't be trying to calculate my age. But anyway, so before I got any degree, I was 27 years old because prior to that, I had my own business. I was just surviving. I was in the Air Force and all that other stuff. So I just wanted to say to you guys that really honestly, whatever you put your mind to, if you put in the work, if you stick to it, you really can do whatever you want to do. And it has played out that way for me, just with sticking with school. And another thing that I did not realize before I started on this journey of becoming a nurse practitioner, or a nurse and all of the above, I didn't realize that with each degree, there was a significant amount of increase in pay for me anyway, which was wonderful. So when I went from my associate's degree to my bachelor's degree, I went from approximately $12 an hour. Like I said, I was working for $12 an hour, and I went from $12 to $21.90 an hour at the time. Now, remember, I'm older, so that was pretty good for me. And then from my bachelor's degree, I went from $21 an hour to somewhere upwards in $40 an hour with my master's degree. And then after working for a little while, I decided to go back for my doctorate. Once I moved for my very last move to Virginia for the base that we're at here. And I decided that I was going to go back and get my doctorate, my Doctor of Nursing Practice from the University of Virginia, UVA. So I say all that to say that even through everything that I've been through a divorce through all of this. I've had both my children while in school and still continue to, stick in there and continue with school. And now, it's so wonderful. I love being a nurse practitioner. It is hard work, but it's so rewarding to be able to do exactly what I want to do with my patients. Now, mind you, I do have to collaborate and consult different specialties that I don't particularly know about. But man, it's very autonomous, and I really never thought that I could make the money that I make now in a million years. I never did. My goal when I first started on this journey was to literally make $50,000 a year. That was my goal. And that was comfortable. That would have been comfortable for me at the time. But God has seen for me to be blessed a lot more than that. Of course, you guys have seen my videos about what nurse practitioners make and our income and all of that good stuff. And if you haven't, of course, you can take a look at those. And really, I just wanted to come on here and talk about my becoming a nurse practitioner. It is my first live. I really want you guys to tell me what you would like to hear. And it looks like Boss IG wants me to talk about, he or she says, "Hi, can you do a video on how you got your preceptorship one day in the future? I'm having trouble trying to find one." Well, you know what? Let's just talk about that now. I mean, I don't have to necessarily do another video. So, preceptorship for, I'm going to assume, nurse practitioner school. Now, it's hard right now because of COVID, and a lot of people are not taking students. However, there are a lot of people that are taking students. And I, for one of them, I just finished up with a nurse practitioner student that I had who has graduated since. She has not taken her boards yet, but she has graduated. But my advice to you is this: don't just call and don't just send out your resume. First, start with people that you know. Your doctor, your children's doctor, your sister's doctor, your cousin's doctor, your friend's doctor. Start with people you know. If that doesn't work, go in your local area, look at all of the hospitals in your local area, start cold calling those offices. If they don't respond to you over the phone, then I say show up. When you show up at their office, make sure you're dressed. Make sure you have your resume. Make sure that you're ready to do an interview. Also, I also recommend that as a student, you join your local nurse practitioner council or whatever nurse practitioner group there is in that area. Join that nurse practitioner group and get in touch with those nurse practitioners. Get to know them. And I'm not trying to say bribe them, but be nice to them. Talk to them, ask them questions. A lot of times they want to give you answers. They want to help you, but you do have to do the work. Now, when I say show up to offices, yes, you are in COVID, but you still have to do what you have to do. Show up with a box of donuts, show up with some bagels. Let them know you are prepared and ready to help them in their office, whatever way that you can. Now, also let them know that you're willing to do telework. If they say, well, we're not bringing anyone in the office, say, okay, that's fine. How about we get a relationship? And since you're doing telework, how about you either FaceTime me or set up a computer or your iPad, FaceTime me when you're on with your patient. I can listen in, or I can guide the call, or however that works. And I can get some experience that way so that you don't have to be in their home. You don't have to go anywhere. They can do it that way. I've done that with my student also. I've FaceTimed her while I've given her the information to contact the patient so that we're, keeping everybody safe. So that's a way also. So I hope that helps, Boss IG Live, to give you some type of idea of where to start, but do not be afraid of popping in on people and asking. Don't be afraid of using your family and friends, providers, and asking them directly. Don't be afraid of that, because that's all you can do. Another good idea too is if you have an instructor who is also still in practice, such as what I do. I'm still in practice and I'm also an associate professor. You can ask that professor if they would allow you to come and be a part of their practice, and you can get some hours that way. Let's see, have I exhausted? Oh, ENP, the ENP network. You can look at the ENP network and see if you can get in contact with someone there. Also, that's a good way that you can get a preceptorship. Another thing too, unfortunately, people are paying. They're paying other people to be preceptors. Now, that's not something I really subscribe to. However, a lot of people are doing it, and that's how a lot of people are getting their preceptorships. I mean, unfortunately, but that is what they're doing. They're getting in contact with some of these agencies who are preceptor agencies, and they're paying to get preceptors. I couldn't hook you up with anybody like that because I don't know of any, but I know they're out there. So that's also an option. Um, so yeah, that is all. Are there any, do you guys have any other questions? If you do, please leave them in the chat, in the comments below. Like this video and subscribe to my channel, which I see that most of you have already done that. Please, please, please let me know what you want to hear about. Boss IG Live, let me know if that was enough for you. If that was not enough information on preceptorships, I did do a whole preceptor video. I also did a preceptor. I'll leave the link once I create this video. I will leave the link for you to click where you can get a whole preceptor pamphlet that I made for free. You can have that as well. I think that should be helpful. So I just was trying out this live. I'm going to do it again. Yeah, this is my first one. So be nice. Leave me some comments. I think that's all that I have to share with you guys tonight. I think this is good. 20 minutes or so, and 5 of you guys stopped by. If you guys have any other questions, I'll give you a few seconds to put them in the chat. And Sheena, where are you? You said you're in your first year of nurse practitioner school. Oh, that is so awesome. I'm excited about that for you. Once you get to your clinical, trust me, you're going to love it, love it, love it. Right now, you're probably going through your basic classes and epidemiology and pathophysiology and pharmacology and all that good stuff. But hey, stick in there. You're going to love it. Okay, guys. Well, I don't see any more questions. And we're going to do this more often. I'm going to try to do it on Thursdays, maybe like a little question and answer. But I do have some questions that other people want to know about. So I am going to do that on my lives just to answer those questions. Any questions that you guys might have about anything, I would be willing to answer. Let's see. I think that's really it. Lifestyle. Let's talk about that a little bit. I don't know what you guys want to know as far as lifestyle, but I'm going to assume that maybe my work schedule. I don't know. Okay, so I work 4 10s, and right now I work out in the community, and I make my own schedule. And when I'm not in the community, sometimes I'm swapped out for primary care and some COVID things right now. So I'm doing that. And I work with the government, and that's been great. I love working with the government. They give you a lot of autonomy, and they really, really value their nurse practitioners because for the most part, the medical or the healthcare team make up nurse practitioners. There are some physicians, of course, but for the most part, it's nurse practitioners. And okay, someone gave me a question. Sounds like a great schedule. I work inpatient trauma Monday through Friday, like 7 to 5. Okay, well, are you a nurse practitioner or are you a nurse or a nurse practitioner, Nicole? Okay, I'll wait for her to answer. But yeah, I love my schedule. And the thing about it is, when you negotiate your contract, be sure to negotiate your time off. And also know she has okay. Oh, okay. Okay, awesome, awesome. So when you negotiate your contract, when you first start working as a nurse practitioner, try to get that time off, and try to get as much vacation time as you can. Now, mind you, you may not get the best contract, but that's okay, because really your goal is to get a nurse practitioner job, period. Okay. You just want that first job so that you can get experience, and then you can get the job that you really want, because everybody wants you to have experience. So don't be too hard on yourself for that first contract. And honestly, my first contract as a nurse practitioner was very, very close to what I got as an RN. But after that period of getting, some experience, it doubled. So don't worry about that, you guys. Please don't beat yourself up about that. Okay. So she says, have my DNP since 2013. I wish I would have known about negotiating. Right. So that doesn't mean, Nicole, that you still cannot negotiate, even though, it's hard sometimes. And sometimes we just want that job. Honestly, we just want to start working and get that job. And I get that. But once they see your worth and once you get in there and you start working and make money for the company or wherever you are, the hospital, then it is your right to come back and say, okay, now we need to talk some money. We need to talk about more money. And don't be afraid of that. All they can say is no, or all they can say is, okay, we'll give you this much. And then, okay, then you come back and later you ask for more. Now, you don't just ask. You have to produce something. You have to make sure that you're producing something. You have to add some type of value. So what I did at my job, I created programs. I created CEUs for the employees. I created something that said, okay, well, I created this. This saved you X amount of dollars. And I always attach money to what I've done. So if I save them X amount of dollars, then this is worth this much to you. So I created a CEU for the whole staff that they still use to this day, which is so outdated. I don't know why they're still using it, but they are. But make sure you do something like that. Even the little things, even a training for nurses, even a small training for you, like Nicole, like a training on patient safety goals or something like that, where you can give at a staff meeting. That will be really easy to do, but that adds value to your job, to where you are. So be mindful of that too. So, okay. I'm glad you like that idea. So yeah, that's great. So yeah, I think that's really all that I want to talk about tonight. You guys have been really great. I appreciate you so much. And I think I'm going to try to come back on Thursdays and do it. Is this a good time for you guys? Leave me some comments. I will be posting this video, as a video like I do. But if there's a better day and time where you guys would tune in, just let me know. But for right now, I think Thursday works out because I do put out a video every Tuesday and Saturday already. And I think what would be so nice for nurse practitioners is if I did a nurse practitioner live about nurse practitioners. So if I did a topic on that on Thursdays where it's dedicated to that, because, now I'm doing like little random videos about hair and random videos about vitamins or something like that, because that's what I do. So anyway, thank you guys for hanging in there with me. I am going to sign off. I appreciate you guys so much. You guys take care. Thank you. Take care, guys.